Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, and it's about almost midnight. But I found myself having this desire, wanting to share something with you, because in my efforts of constantly seeking out, constantly reaching out to get some information from the powers that be that would bring some clarity to me, so that hopefully when I'm speaking to you, I can speak with clarity. And I know that it doesn't hang around too long for me to make it as specific as it was given. So I try to get out as quick as I possibly can and do it. So I had to rush out of the shower, and here I am. But things like this, I'd like to start off with some notes that I had made earlier, and then we'll end up with those thoughts that I had a moment ago. What is happening in Ukraine, and with Russia and Israel, that with the Gaza, the USA, it's all from the pit of hell, ladies and gentlemen. It's reflected in the evil that it brings. And I want you to know this. I'm not saying this to you for you just to hear me and say I confirm what you already been thinking or believing, or I'm against it and so on and so forth. I'm telling you this is evil. And how do I know it's evil? Because I know it's a problem. And how do I know it's a problem? Because I know the solution. And the solution says it doesn't exist anymore. But it does exist. Why? Because you, the people, do not know the solution. And the truth of the matter is that you've been given an excuse that you choose to accept rather than the solution. Putin, Netanyahu, and Trump, each of these are representatives of hell. Their God is deception. Their God is lies. Their God is hatred. Their God is murder. You know, it's been that way since the beginning up until this present moment. Their God is fake. Now, neither of these I mentioned here have any idea of God superior to their willingness to destroy. All powers of the earth are corrupt. Now, this is something that I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, is the truth. It's nothing for you to say, oh, I agree with that, or for you to say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm telling you, it's the truth. And what do you do with the truth? The truth is supposed to set you free. So if there's anything that's got you bound because of the lack of truth, not just knowledge, but the lack of truth in this regard, now is the time. And this is where you say, well, how do you do that? I tell you that faith is power. Evidence, my friends. These, my friends, of things that are not seen. Treating it as if it is, no doubt, being used at the time that you're using it. And it really can level mountains. It will take faith, no doubt, to change this world. But it won't be a return to a person. It won't be a return of the Jesus. By faith, the world is spiritual. The world is what it is, imaginable, advanced with connection to the truth, knowing. By faith, the blind can see, the deaf hear, lame walk, mute talk, the dead live. By faith, the world can change. By faith, the world can change. By action, faith is real and change is unstoppable. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, this present date and this present time. You must stop listening to other people, including that which you've listened to most, and that's white politicians. They have no sense of righteousness when it comes down to being fair to those that are not white. I've not seen the truth from the mouth of any Republican since Trump came in office. And the receipts are there. And it is a sign that the work that God has given me is from God, because there's no one listening. When I post stuff, I get the fewest views, get the fewest likes. And though I might have been there, 10, 11 years or so, done thousands of videos, and all I've talked about is this wonderful new world that you get on your knees and pray for. And giving you the information that you have requested, but I guess, you have expected it to come back a certain kind of way. And the way I've been given to bring it to you, you just can't accept that. See, the way I bring it back to you, I tell you that the message is that you're responsible for what exists. And if you want something better, you got to stop giving life to this and start demanding that which you say you want and give evidence to it. And I guarantee you, just like the lady and man who was sneaking, getting a little bit and trying to hide it, well, the baby came, they couldn't hide it. So if you do the things that you're supposed to do that would bring about the kinds of things that you say you won't, don't have to worry about it. And when you look up, it'll be there. Isn't that something wonderful? You know, you said that God is to set people free. And yet all over the world, people are in bondage. All that God has given the earth to you, the people, have been stolen. Everything. Your careers, your health care, your housing, your, oh my goodness, too much to mention. And what is it? It is the rule of governments of men and women who do not honor God. Now, there are many reasons that they might not honor God. The most is that they don't know God. And the other is that it's just fake. So, what is it all about? It's about freedom that returns to you, the people. The freedom that you have been denied, the freedom you have been praying for, and yet are missing. But let me, before I kind of give you the clarity of it, let me give you the point of it. The fact that Donald J. Trump is president of the United States of America, you, the citizens, don't deserve careers. You don't deserve joy of life, because Trump is no good. And the reason that he is in office is because the American people are just as heartless and just as no good as Donald Trump. See, now everybody got their own little specialty. Nobody's the same, but it all ends up no good. Out of Trump's mouth, every time he opens it, nothing comes out but a lie. But it's the same for you, the people. This is where I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you that you don't love God. You don't know God. You don't know Jesus. And you don't know righteousness. You know enough of it to fool you, to trick you, to make you think that you know. And they call that deception. There was a time a people came here as slaves, and they were taught about a God, and they accepted that God, and they honored, worshiped, and praised that God more dynamically than the teachers that brought it to them. And the killing part about that is that the teachers that brought it to them knew it was fake. But now you had a group of people praising a fake God that was able to do nothing. Something is wrong with that picture. As a social scientist, I mean, I have some certification on that field, and I've practiced it for almost 60 years, every day of my life. I've witnessed not just my house, but my home, America, and without. And I've observed that the same things that happen in one happens in the other. And it's all pain and suffering at the end of the day. I've also listened to those who talk about a spiritual realm. And I know that all that happens with the spiritual realm is the same that happens with the material realm. It all embraces itself. Regardless of the conversation that is spoken, everyday living is embraced like a hand in a glove. There are those who think that what they're doing is probably wrong, but they do enough righteousness, and when they pass out of this world, God will understand their hearts and forgive them, and they will be able to sit around heaven all day, eating milk and honey and singing songs. Now, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing that people can believe something like that and spend their whole entire life refusing to even think about anything else other than what they've been taught to think? The Constitution of the United States for a real man is this: I will honor the righteousness of that Constitution as long as it does not require me or the system itself to dishonor God. Because the moment it dishonors God, it has no hold on me. In other words, to hell with it at that point. Just think about all of you saying that. You see, God has limitations. Men don't. And if you are on it and the limitations have not been brought to bear, keep an eye. And when it is, reveal it, expose it, and then show the truth. So what am I saying? I'm saying, for me, as a child of God, I mean, wanting to be a real one. I don't want 100 years from now somebody reading about the same people 100 years ago. From Why not read about people from our time? Might be 100 years, 200 years, but read about us. Why? Because we did something. We glorified God in our lives. We did something for humankind. We acted as we were part of the creative process. So what I'm saying, let's do righteousness. And when we do righteousness, we have to honor the fact that God have all human beings on earth. If that is right, that means that which is required of one is required of all. And that parent who put us here has prepared that all those things should be met. And that we have the responsibility of making sure that it's met. We are accountable for that. If any pain and suffering exists on this planet anywhere, in America, anywhere, if it exists, we are accountable. We got to answer for that. In God's eyes, not in anything like, well, it's the market, it's democracy, it's this, all of that stuff is from the pit of hell when you're saying it. But anything that takes away the joy and the life that God has prepared for human beings on earth, and you performing your role in it. Now, I got some videos behind you. You can check it out. I'm not going to tell you about it on this video. And you fail to do it, you, my friends, are not honoring God. You see, the truth of the matter is, if you're honoring God, you're real. And honoring God doesn't bend to satisfy anything that's ungodly. No, honoring God doesn't bend to satisfy anything that dishonors God. Now I'm telling you this, I know you can't. You're not gonna walk this. I don't walk it all the time, but I do walk it sometimes. And that's not good enough because the sometimes make me as guilty as those that never walk it at all. But you know what? I'm striving. I'm gonna get to that point. I'm gonna get to that point. I hope that I have enough time. that it is God, totally God. I had a preacher tell me one time that there's nothing ever in life that's more important than honoring God. That's a full-time job, and it's a beautiful, magnificent job. And in that job comes the best that life has to offer and the worst. And the thing that makes it so fantastic is God's there on both ends. And as long as you're with God, you have nothing to fear. So I'm telling the world, y'all out there talking about this killing and stuff like that, that's because you don't know God. You out there talking about other people. Look, I was thinking, I heard some people talking about Donald Trump tonight as I was preparing this presentation. I heard you talking about Donald Trump. And it made me want to puke because I'm thinking, yes, all of that stuff that you're saying about Donald Trump is true. I heard it last night, heard it all day, heard it yesterday, and we all keep hearing it and hearing it. But let me ask you, how many of you today or yesterday that was doing this complaining, how many of you were doing something today that was advocating the solution to the problem? Advocating the solution and then taking the first step to engage the process of the solution. How many of you were doing that? I bet you not many. You might say, well, the lawyers were working on it. They trying to see how. Get the Constitution, ladies and gentlemen. The Constitution allows that crap to happen. You, the people, are supreme. And if a thug try to run your life and you let a thug run your life, you better stop listening to those fake preachers because they are tricking you. God don't play that. God does not play that. And you see, there's no shame in God's game. And if you're playing God's game, there's no shame. But why? Because your life is to make sure that God is glorified. And if God is glorified, He's like the sun, He's like the moon, He's like the stars, He's like the wind, He's like the water. God is alive. And if you are glorifying God, then so are you. Now stop playing games, America. Stop playing games, black people. Stop playing games, white folks. Stop playing games, America. Make America great. You're on the wrong path. God is the only way America can be great. Donald Trump can only take it to hell. Have a good day.